Hey guys. So you can see behind me, I am still here, still painting this bookcase. I'm painting it this beautiful color, rosemary. It's Sherwin-Williams. It's absolutely stunning. There's only one coat here, so once it got that second coat on, it's gonna look completely flawless. It's gonna look amazing, and I'm gonna do some gold hardware or brass hardware. I'm still kind of figuring it out, but it's gonna look amazing, and I cannot wait to show it the end product to you guys. I know this has been a work in progress since like May. But regardless, I wanted to come on here because something struck me earlier this week. And so in one of my Facebook mom groups, because I'm part of like a ton of Facebook mom groups, and one of the Facebook mom groups, there was a woman who comes on here and she's like, guys, I hate my life. I am so tired. I have two kids, two boys. The younger one is constantly getting at the older one and is just like throwing things and throwing tantrums and hitting and pulling hair. And is this like, she's like, I'm just so tired of this. I'm tired of yelling and I regret even having kids at this point. And then she's like, I'm just venting. Okay. So I read this and it kind of struck me because I've definitely been there. Definitely been there. I have three boys myself. My oldest is a girl, but then after that I had all three boys. And it's tough. It is really, really tough. And I can understand what this mom is coming from or where she's coming from. And so I just wanted to put out some thoughts on this and some opinions here. So the first thing is your children are given to you for a God-given reason. They are cute and cuddly, but they are not meant to be like these little easy beings that are going to just be like complete wonders in your life and everything is going to be happy, happy, joy, joy. Like that is there. They are wonders of your life. Having a child is a complete miracle on its own, right? But they are meant to test you. They are going to push you and they are going to stretch you good. They're going to stretch you so good and they're going to push you. And guess what? You're going to break down and you're going to break down real bad. And then you're going to build yourself back up. And that's what I think is one of the ultimate purposes that I have seen behind my own children. I had a really, really tough time with my COVID child. And I think anybody who had a baby during COVID just had it rough in general because we couldn't see people and whatnot. And so I think the children in general just became even more, attached to the mom, which is fine. I welcomed the attachment. It was also around the time that my father passed away. So having the baby with dealing the grief or the grieving of my father, that was a really challenging time for me. And I think because I was so emotionally and like I was in emotional distress, my child felt that. And so he was probably the most challenging child I have of the four. And he picked up a lot of that energy. But during that time, my father was very, very sick and I was constantly crying and in constant like distress. And I really, truly feel like that impacted him. Why am I saying all this? The reason I'm bringing this up is that our children mimic our energy. So if this mom is complaining about feeling tired, regretting, hating her life is such a strong word. She's saying she hates her life and she regrets even having kids. So that's where the mistake is happening, or that's where the issue really lies. Okay. If we are hating our life and if we are regretting having kids, how do you expect to have even happy kids? Your kids are going to mirror you. So if you are internally struggling, your kids will show that struggle. And this is why I think God works in amazing, amazing ways, because your child is going to show you that something is wrong here. This woman is venting and she's breaking down completely. And this is the moment she can actually realize that there's something wrong here and she can pick herself back up. There's another thing that's coming at play here. And this is something I've recently been learning about and I'm still learning about. And it's called nervous system overload. So if you pay attention to yourself, especially for like mamas out there, okay? If you pay attention to yourself throughout the day, just pay attention to your breathing. Are you holding your breath quite a bit? Are you tensing your shoulders? I mean, I have, oh my gosh, so much shoulder pain because of the fact that I feel like I'm walking around like this, like tense, 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 you know? So just relax. You know, life is not meant to be this like stressful situation, but we are constantly in fight or flight mode and activating our sympathetic modes because of the fact that we are just tensing over everything, you know? Um, so the other question I would ask her is, are you regulating yourself? Are you, doing things to help kind of like calm your nervous system? Because if your nervous system is overloaded and just out of whack, you are going to be feeling all sorts of symptoms and you're going to be out of balance. So what I do is I take those moments to think, I actively am considering and thinking, okay, am I tensing up right now? Am I holding my breath? Your breath is like the number one way to calm yourself, right? So then I'll take deep breaths in and I do dhikr at that moment. I say, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. And I bring myself, I try to center myself back in. And whatever sort of like affirmation or dhikr or whatever it is that works for you, go ahead and do it. I choose to go back to dhikr or name of Allah because that is what centers me. Another thing that I was, kind of in the underlying message of this mom's post was that she misses her old life. Oh, guys, once you become a mama, you're going to be like, or if you are a mama, you know this. What was I doing with my life before I had kids? How did I have so much time? And what was I doing with it? Guys, after my first child, I was in a rough spot. It was really, really rough. And I came to know I also had extremely low vitamin D. So one thing is if you are in this situation where you're just like nothing is helping, get your labs checked. I went to a functional medicine doctor. I feel like they do um, much thorough testing in your lab work, your thyroid for women, thyroid, vitamin D, etc. It's really important. So I went to a functional medicine doctor and she like did a very thorough check on me, and I had vitamin D levels so low that, God forbid, it could have caused me cancer if I continued to be that low. So she put me on like a loading dose of vitamin D for like 3 days. And then we went high dose and then we kind of tapered down. And now I continue to make sure that I'm sticking to my vitamin D. Regardless, okay, so make sure that your levels are good, okay? So especially if you're postpartum, make sure that your labs, everything are good. But then secondly, you have to understand that when you become a mother, you are becoming a new identity. Going from single to married, you're taking on a new identity. You're now a married woman or a married person, okay? And then going from Hiba to now I'm Hiba, a mother of 4. This is my new identity. When I had one child, it was very, very difficult. I had to stop. I couldn't see my friends as much. I was working all the time. It just felt like, we were just in this constant, like, just a constant that just didn't seem to really stop. So regret missing your old life? No, sweetie, that's not it at all. You got a new life. You are a new person and you brought a new person into this world, and it is your duty to manage them and to manage their upbringing. So that's where we have to kind of like just accept the fact that this is me now. I am not that old Hiba that, wasn't a mom or didn't have to worry about like dinner and breakfast and lunch and snacks and freezing foods and, all sorts of things. That Hiba, I shed that version of me because I now put on a new one. And, with kids, you have seasons of life. I would never be able to sit here talking to a camera this way for God knows 10 minutes already. Because my kids are always all over the place. And I'm like constantly so concerned of my younger one, like putting something in his mouth or doing something crazy, or one of them fighting with another one, but they're older now, or they're getting older, God bless them. And I can find more times in my life back. And it's starting to feel like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm getting myself back again. But that's the wrong thinking. I'm not getting myself. I'm finding a new version of me. And this is what I'm loving right now, is that I'm kind of reconnecting with myself. In mothering, you really can lose who you were. You can lose who that identity was. But now we're here to just take back and be that person that God made you to be. The last thing I wanted to say in this mother's post, she's talking a lot about like shame and guilt. She's shaming herself here, and she's putting guilt on herself, for one, for having kids, and then two, probably for even thinking the thought of how, I mean, we can't even say those things out loud. Saying something like, I regret having kids. It's like, oh, no, 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 no. If I ever said that to my mom, she'd be like, girl, she would have slapped me hard. But it's okay. We have moments that are really tough. There was one time, and I mean, God bless my children, they're the best. Okay, I really do. I homeschool my children. I have so much fun with them. But yes, being with your kids all the time is a challenge. But I will say, with one of my kids, there was a time where he was like maybe like 2, maybe 3. And this kid is a fighter. Okay, I have a child. He has a fighting spirit. Okay, and he came to me, and I don't know what happened, but he punched me in the face. And I was so upset. I had to lock myself in the basement to cool down. And I called my mom, and I said, this child just punched me in the face. What is going on? Like, am I a horrible mom? Like, how is he gonna do that? Right? And it really just really got to me. But guys, these are kids. Okay, we're not here to I could go on and like shame and guilt myself that like, oh, my child just punched me, there's something wrong with me. Or, oh, my child just punched me, there's something wrong with him. Or, oh, X, Y, and Z. I know the thing is, if your child is acting up that way, there is a reason for it. Okay, get that child some fat, get them some protein. Okay, I will tell you, whenever my kids are starting to act up, my boys, when they're acting up this way, they either need to go do some runs, they need to get some fat in their system, they need some protein, or they need to get outside. And just like as soon as they get outside, like boom, everything is good. I actually like being outdoors more than I like being indoors. One, because they tear up my house, and then two, outside it just regulates their emotionally. And when you're outside in nature, you're connected, right? And you feel good. And it's so, anyways, those are just a few thoughts that I had, and I wanted to kind of come on here and just, if anybody else is struggling, just know that you're not alone, and these feelings you have are not unusual. I mean, these feelings that you have are not just you only, and it doesn't, but seek help. You really, really, like, if you're in a breaking point with your kids, seek help, talk to someone, because we need to talk. Like, if I am going through any sort of situation, I will not feel good until I talk it out, right? So do that. Talk it out with somebody, and somebody who's good. Don't just talk it out with somebody who's going to be like, oh yeah, girl, you need to put those kids in a daycare, or you need to go put those kids somewhere, or yeah, girl, you're so, don't do that. Okay, that's like the AI that's just gonna like agree with everything that you say. Don't do that. Don't get somebody who's going to agree with everything you say. Get a good listener. Get it from someone who's a good listener. Anyways, I can go on and on about this, but I'm not going to do that right now. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you in my next video.